Hey everyone, back with another battle, and it's a pretty good battle if you ask me, against a guy named Manny. I'm going to start off with my Star Raptor. He starts off with a Weavile. This is the choice band Star Raptor, so I know I can't outspeed him, so I don't want to risk going for the U-turn, so I'm just going to switch into my Arcanine, expecting either the Fake Out or the Ice Shard, because it is a lead Weavile, but he is going to make a double switch into his Dusclops, probably expecting the Scarf, but here I'm just gonna go for the safe crunch. No reason to overpredict yet. And he's actually gonna make a switch also, expecting probably the fire type move. But he's gonna go into a Slowbro, and Slowbro is gonna take this crunch well. But as you'll see here, I get a defense drop, and after this, I probably should have switched, but my inner gamer just told me to go for it, and it ends up paying off because I get a critical hit, which was kind of lame, but I'll take whatever I can get. And here he's thinking, and he sends in a Tyranitar, which kind of takes away from my Arcanine being in the match because it is a not sub, indoor Lychee set. So if I do endure down to one hit point, I'm just going to die to Sandstorm. So I'm going to switch here into my Sandslash because Sandslash is pretty good walling against Tyranitars. And he goes for the Earthquake. I have expected the Stone Edge because of he saw my Staraptor, so I didn't think he would go for the Earthquake, but he did. And Sandslash is going to take that extremely well, and I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rocks here as he goes for a Crunch. And on this crunch, he's going to get a defense drop, which was kind of annoying, just because I could have stayed in and taken a few more hits. But I'm going to have to switch now. I got up Stealth Rocks, so I don't really mind switching. And I'm going to go into my Porygon 2 because it's another physically bulky Pokemon that I brought with me. And he's just going to go for another crunch. And he's going to get another defense drop, which was just plain annoying. But I did get a crit on him, so I can't really complain. And here I'm going to switch again into my Lucario. I was expecting him to Stone Edge because that would have done the most damage to my Porygon. But I don't know what exactly he predicted, but he got pretty lucky here. He went for the Earthquake, and this is going to hit my Lucario down to his Focus Sash. I am pretty lucky that he didn't set up Stealth Rocks, or I would have just lost one of the best sweepers on my team. And I'm going to go for the safe close combat here. I know he's going to switch into the Dusclops, but I had to take it because of that huge mess up I just did. And I'm not going to want to stay in against this Dusclops in case he has the Shadow Sneak, because I'm at 1 hit points, so that will take me out. So I'm going to go back into my Arcanine, get the Intimidate, and he went for the Ice Punch, probably predicting Staraptor maybe, to avoid the Shadow Sneak. But Arcanine isn't going to take anything from that Ice Punch after the Resistance and the Intimidate, and I was just hoping he didn't freeze me. I don't know if Fire Pokemon can get frozen. Even if they can, it probably would have happened to me after the luck I've been having in this match. But I'm just going to go for the safe Flare Blitz. Should do damage to anything, but he sends back his Tyranitar, and that isn't going to do much to his Tyranitar. I was kind of hoping for the burn, but don't get it, and I'm going to have to switch here. So expecting him to go for the Earthquake again, I'm going to go into my Staraptor, who will avoid it, and get an Intimidate off. And I know he'll switch back into his Dusclops, expecting the close combat, so I'm going to lock myself into U-turn. Well, not really lock myself into U-turn, but go for the choice banded U-turn, because even on Dusclops, it should do a decent amount. And he thinks about it, and he does go back into the Dusclops. So I'm going to U-turn, and I'm going to go back into the Arcanine, get the Intimidate. Not that the Intimidate really matters that much, but it's nice to have because Dusclops doesn't have the best attack stat in the world, and I doubt he has any attacking EVs. But here I'm going to make a pretty good prediction And I know he's going to switch, fearing the crunch, probably back into the Tyranitar. And I'm going to go for the double switch and go back into my Staraptor. And he does end up switching back into his Tyranitar. So that was pretty good play for me. And I'm going to go for the Choice Banded U-turn here again, because I thought even if he did switch, I thought it would take out the Tyranitar. But after leftovers recovery, he's actually going to be able to survive this, because I'm guessing he thought that I would, I guess he thought that he would live the U-turn that I would probably go for, but yeah, he lives with slightest amount of health. And I'm going to go back into my Sand Slash, and he's going to go for the Stone Edge, which, even though I resisted, I'm going to take a pretty decent chunk of damage here because he gets a critical hit, but it didn't change the game too much. And here I'm going to make a pretty bad play. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge, thinking it would take out this Tyranitar anyway, but I should have gone for the Earthquake. I was half expecting the switch, because he can live another Stealth Rocks hit from the looks of his HP. And so I go for the Stone Edge, and he's thinking about it. This is when I thought he would switch, but the Stone Edge hits, but he lives with like -2 HP and gets a crunch off. He gets another defense drop, but it didn't matter too much. So that kind of annoyed me, but doesn't really matter that much. And I'm going to go for the right play that I should have done in the first place here and just go for the Earthquake. And that'll take out the Tyranitar. So here he is going to go into his Dusclops, and I'm going to switch back into, what do I switch into again here? I kind of forget. I go back into my Arcanine, alright. And get the Intimidate, goes for the Ice Punch, doesn't get the Freeze, and Sandstorm is raging, and I get buffed by the Sandstorm. He gets his leftovers. There's just so much stuff going on. And I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz, I believe, as he shows me his Arcanine. And I thought it had Flash Fire when he sent it in, but it has the Intimidate just like mine. And even with the Resistance and Intimidate, Arcanine is just such a beast that it does about a quarter. And here, the Sandstorm is going to show me that my Arcanine is faster than his because it hits me first. But I'm going to switch out anyway because I don't think an Extreme Speed would kill at that point, and I didn't want to use Endure. And I'm going to go into my Porygon 2, Traces, Intimidate. And he's going to go for the Extreme Speed. Sorry about that, I was just randomly interrupted. And anyway, after that, I'm going to take my Porygon 2 isn't going to take much from the Extreme Speed, and here I know he's going to want to Flare Blitz just to get as much damage as he possibly can to my Porygon because he is Life Orb and he doesn't have much time out on the field. So I'm going to go for the Recover, and he does end up going for the Flare Blitz, which is great for me because after I get this Recover off, his Arcanine is as good as down, and so I live with the slightest bit of health and get the Recover off, which is great, and his Arcanine goes down to the Sandstorm. And after this, he's going to send in his last Pokemon. Well, not last Pokemon. He's going to send his next Pokemon, a Bronzong, but you'll have to wait for part 2 to see how this battle ends. And yeah. Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch part 2.